Hello everyone, welcome back. I know going through the basics of price adjustment might not be the most exciting, but trust me, it's like building a strong foundation for a house. It's necessary before we get into the more complicated stuff. My goal is to help you become a skilled and independent engineer who can handle different situations. Imagine trying to run before you learn to walk. It's important to start with the basics. Taking shortcuts might not give you the strong foundation you need. So start with the basics and move on to more advanced concepts. This way you will be well prepared for any challenge that comes your way. Now let's get straight to the topic, which is the parameter and work process of price adjustment. So what exactly are the parameters of price adjustment? Think of them as the ground rules that determine when and how prices can change in a contract. These are the guidelines that keeps things fair and reasonable for everyone that is involved. For example, you have to construct a house. Now imagine the cost of steel, a crucial building material, goes up unexpectedly by more than 10%. Well, in a contract with clear parameters, it might say that if the cost of material increases by 10%, then the price of the contract can be adjusted to cover the extra cost. In this case, the parameter is that 10% increase. It's the safety net that ensures everyone is treated fairly. Now let's take a look at the parameters outlined for us by the Pakistan Engineering Council. First one is weightages of specified items. It says if the cost element has an impact of 3% or more, it can be chosen for adjustment. When deciding on the importance or weightages of each factor, we will follow this procedure. 1.1 describes that the base date price alone of an element based on the market rate shall be considered excluding cost of construction, installation, overheads and profit. I'll explain this base rate later. 1.2 illustrates that the engineers will create an estimate for the entire project. 1.3 illustrates the proper analysis of the engineer's estimate will be conducted to figure out the cost of the main components. 1.4 illustrates that when there are various variations of a particular component used in the project, we need to calculate the cost of each type within the component family and then sum them up. For instance, if a project uses different type of steels like sheet steel, grade 40 steel, grade 60 steel, we should consider the individual base prices of each steel type and combine them to determine the overall cost of the steel component. This approach applies similarly to different types of cement and other materials used in the project. 1.5 illustrates each cost element determined as above shall be divided by the total amount of engineer's estimate to determine various weightages. So let's consider we have a project that's estimated cost is 100 million and the steel cost in that project is 30 million. So simply divide 30 million by 100 million, we will get the percentage of steel. 1.6 states it is clarified that while computing price adjustment, base and current prices of the representative element have to be used in the same way as they are mentioned in the Pakistan Engineering Council bidding documents. For example, grade 40 half-inch dia steel is the representative cost element for all types of steel. Similarly, unskilled labor is the representative cost element for all types of labor, etc. 1.7 states that the price adjustment shall be applicable to the cost elements of both the cast in situ and precast work items. Now let's discuss the weightage of the fixed portion A, that is non-adjustable portion of the estimated cost of the contract. First, the weightages of all the cost elements having value of 3% or more to be added up to see whether that is 75% or less. In that case, the total is to be subtracted from 1 to determine the weightage of the fixed portion A. 2.2 illustrates in case the total weightage of the cost elements including high-speed diesel and labor exceeds 75%, the elements having lowest weightage other than HSD and labor shall be excluded in considering the adjustable cost elements. 2.3 states fixed portion shall be 25% and in case the fixed portion exceeds 25%, it shall be supported by calculations attached with the bidding documents. 2.4 says sum of the fixed portion A and the weightages B, C, D, etc. of the adjustable portion shall always be 1. Now the point number 3, base date price. Base date price or the base date index of any element shall be the price of the element for the month on the day following 28 days prior to the last day of the submission of bids. Now the point number 4, current date price. The current date price or current date index of any element shall be the price of the element for the month falling on the day 28 days prior to the last day of the period to which the particular payment certificate relates. Sources of prices. The prices of elements subject to the price adjustment shall be to the extent possible as given in the statistical bulletins published by the Federal Bureau of Statistics, whereas the high-speed diesel shall be either statistical bulletins or Pakistan State Oil or Oil and Gas Regulatory Authority. We will talk about the work process after when we will start practical examples. So that's it for today. Thank you.